Welcome to Man Therapy. Man Therapy. Man Therapy.
Welcome to Man Therapy, a new podcast with four longtime friends talking about life, current events, and everything in between. Full discretion, we are not real therapists, but we suspect most therapists only wish they were us. We're just four guys with different opinions that still manage to love each other no matter our differences. The act of sharing a burden, fostering laughter, and lending an ear to a brother is the basis and foundation of what we call Man Therapy. So throw another log on the fire, oil up your beard. If you have one, grab a beverage of choice and relax. We welcome you to the Man Therapy Podcast. Hey, welcome into Man Therapy. This is going for our, I believe, 6th episode. I know there's
episode 6.
Some debate about the numbering from the guys on our Christmas episode,
Some
but
people from Alabama trying to count.
Yeah. Anyways, it was long enough to be called 2.
Right. I mean,
Episodes,
we split it up
two
into
episodes.
2 different, segments. So
True.
close enough.
So we're going to be changing up the format, and we're actually going to be doing our individual segments first, and then we'll have sort of a main segment. And I want to apologize in advance because I have no idea how this episode's going to go. It could be good, it could be bad, it could be off the rails, but I think it's going to be fun no matter what we do.
We're
Bleep number 1. All right.
We already in sleep number 1.
Starting off early.
All
yeah.
right. So you guys had a good week?
Heck yes.
Yeah, man. Last
it
week
was-
of COVID quarantine.
Good. Yeah, you're actually out and you're getting to go back to regular life tomorrow,
Yeah,
aren't you?
Yeah, go back to work.
Yay. Mike gets to go back to Gen Pop.
I think you're coming out with COVID-20 or something like that, aren't you? I'm gonna have to go back to work.
Yeah, I've got that new COVID
Lambda,
one that
lambda,
hasn't
lambda.
come out yet.
Yeah. There's like trending on Twitter, the Delta Cron. Have y'all heard about that?
No.
It's like, it's the
Oh,
new.
this is about to be some dumbass dad joke, ain't it?
No, I'm absolutely for real. It is
Okay.
called. It's
all right.
scientists have said that it's like a Delta Cron, like a mixture between Delta and the Omicron variant.
The COVID Megatron, is that what we're going for now?
Yeah,
Morphs into a
Optimus
semi-truck.
Prime, Decepticon.
Man, I can't wait till Optimus Prime comes back.
Right?
Truth, absolutely.
Oh my gosh. I can't deal with it, man. Let's get
Alabama,
started
we got
before
some
I get
snow,
off
though.
on a tirade, man.
We got some
I know.
No, boy, I know.
frigid cold weather, so that was kind of nice to have in the South.
Yeah, absolutely. Which the snow that we got here was I got an alert and it came very unexpectedly, and then the weatherman started predicting ice and snow like more than 24 hours in advance, and I was like, it ain't happening. And we didn't get a lick of ice or snow, and they were
we
shut down.
That's what happens when they do that.
Absolutely.
I got about
Man,
2
it got
inches,
cold up here
2
this
inches
week.
here.
That's awesome. Yeah, we got
Yeah, that's what she said.
Oh,
we had 3 inches
Mike's
here.
girlfriend back in the 90s.
We
Well,
didn't get
yeah.
any. So we got rain.
All you got was rain. We had freezing rain last night.
Yeah, that's the what really kind of causes a driving to be impaired.
Yeah.
What?
Well,
Yeah.
I about busted my ass taking my dog outside last night.
God, how many beeps so far? This is
3.
Oh my God,
Not bad.
it's
Really
4.
good.
It's 3. I don't know. Anyways,
Mm,
well, anyways,
Segment
I
number
told you.
1.
segment number 1. How about you?
listen, I told you I could peel it back a little bit, but you said it was entertaining. So, you know, what the ever.
It was entertaining, but it really, I have to bleep. It's extra work.
You're putting so much more work on Pat.
Yeah.
His
So
poor little
I'm
finger
gonna have
can't
to
hit
get
it
like
fast
a
enough.
little buzzer every time like I want to say something, and just automatically do it. That way he doesn't have to
Yeah.
go back and edit
What's the-
this.
Yeah, it's like, what's the game that has the little buzzer with it where you can't say certain words?
I don't know. You're getting that from 4 Christmases. I don't know.
I actually had that at my house, but I can't remember what
That's
it's
a real
called.
game.
Yes, it's a real game.
Wait, is it called Buzzword or something? Or no?
Oh,
I don't know if it's buzzword.
Who cares? Moving on.
Yeah. Let's move into
Anyway.
segment 1. Ray's trying to push us forward. I can feel the tension and
you can
the sweat.
you can
off his
feel the
forehead.
force.
The force of Ray.
Wait,
Well, anyways, moving to segment
who's
1.
breathing heavily?
That was Ray.
Oh, heyo.
Yep. So I think I'm up first, I believe.
Yep.
You are.
All right. Well, again, for my segments lately, I've been finding decent articles here. And so I don't know if you guys have had the chance to browse my link yet. But anyways, this is from, I believe, the New York Post, I think, is the one who posted this. But it's, I think, this has happened before, and it was sort of an experiment on livestock. But cows stuck indoors for winter are getting virtual reality goggles to feel like they're outside. And I posted a pic in in our episode show notes for you guys to kind of see what the VR headsets kind of look like, and those cows look hilarious.
My only issue with that is we don't have like a lot of things that we can show through VR. Are they going down the roller coaster? Because they'd be tripping
So,
balls.
Well, okay,
That's what I'm
so
watching.
so the cows, yeah, the cows. Yeah, anyways, so cows cooped up for the winter are being fitted with virtual reality goggles, so they think they are outside in a summer field. And the bamboozled bovines. The journalist is trying to
Easy
be
for
funny
you to
here.
say.
I know.
Bamboozled bovine.
Bovines appear to be happier and producing more milk. Snaps of the earlier experiment have been amusing film buffs on social media, and they've been calling it like the Mootrix and things like that. They had to put all that in.
Holy
Yeah, and
That's
the
awesome.
Matrix.
the
The
Mootrix.
Mootrix.
Yeah, and they even go to give
Clever
the,
play on words.
they describe what the Matrix is in here for anyway.
They didn't want to butcher the joke.
Yeah, so I'm skipping some of the absolutely. I get it. Hey, I almost got kicked off of last week's episode for a dumb joke.
He almost
so
got traded.
I got replaced.
Free
Oh,
agency
yeah.
was looking really good last episode.
Yeah.
You're lucky I don't have Greg's number.
It's like the New York Post. Apparently, they
Which one, Jeff?
They-
I mean,
I don't know.
Yeah,
I
they
don't think
interviewed
anybody
a fan, and they said, "You take the short grass, the story ends. You wake up in the pasture and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the long grass and you stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the human hole goes." Yeah. So,
you're gonna show me how deep the human hole goes.
I feel like this is about to go somewhere different.
and it's
Did
You feel like it is, or you know it is? I mean, come on.
the
I will say this, like a lot of money is
How
like,
deep is that hole?
a lot of money goes to like cage free and like treating animals better, and like when they're scared or whatever, the meat's tainted. I wonder if this seriously could be something in the future that
You go with like the Wagyu style beef where they
Heck yes.
they like get massages and
Gosh.
the cows have a better life than
Have
I
y'all
do.
tried Wagyu, by the way?
I have not.
It's
No.
effing unbelievable.
I've had a burger with it before.
so good.
Yeah, I
Ray
noticed,
said tainted, by the way.
just,
It's just funny.
but
Taint.
anyways,
just so all of our listeners know, we are all middle schoolers trapped in 30-something-year-old bodies. Yeah, with savings accounts
this is
and
absolutely true.
401ks.
Anyways, the sequel is the Mootrix Re-Uttered and
Oh no,
the
Holy
Mootrix
shit.
Ruminations.
Pat, you're getting closer, buddy.
This is in the article. I'm reading straight
Sure
from
it is.
the dadgum
Sure
article.
it is.
Right.
I don't want to butcher these jokes, Ray. So
He doesn't
Holy
want to. He
shit.
doesn't want to mess them up
He
because the
just
stakes
he
are
just
high.
laid another one.
So- it's anyways some actual science behind it.
What a load of bullshit.
The bull, yeah, I get it. The headsets were developed. Anyways, they were developed with vets and first tested on a farm in Moscow. Cattle breeder, I'm going to call him Is It, and I'm not going to attempt his last name, has now
Oh
put
no,
them,
you need to attempt it.
No, you need to attempt that last name.
Okay. Kokek. Is it Kokek?
Hey, this is a family show.
Cockit?
Watch your language.
Yes, Kockak. I butchered it again.
Gonna have some beef with you if you don't
Is it
stop.
Cockett? So, Is It
Oh.
Cockett? We're going with that. Has now put them on 2 cows in Turkey, and the son has herd. They spelled herd Herd. I see what they did.
Mm,
Oh man,
Boo.
the puns.
There's so many
Resulted.
bad puns in it.
Anyways, the output of the cows went from 5.8 gallons to 7 gallons a day after they slapped these VR babies on these cows. Is it Cockett, who previously played his 180 animals classical music, is so pleased he plans to buy 10 more headsets after this. And they've been watching Green Pastures, and it gives them an emotional boost, and the animals are less stressed, and they end up producing more milk. You know, this is really funny that this comparison could also go to workers in America, that the better treated the workers are, the better production you get from them. So
So
anyway,
we
Can't
need to
relate.
slap VR headsets on all factory workers.
yeah, absolutely. I don't.
So
then
Somebody
they can't
cannot
see what
see
the
the-
hell they're doing.
yeah, they will.
Exactly.
You're gonna
So
end
then
up-
somebody's going. They're going to drill their hand.
I'm just talking about the
They're going
less.
to
You're gonna
press
have
their
Stabby.
fingers.
Missing about 4 fingers.
Hey, well, you have to tell them to steer clear.
This is for Stabby.
Yeah.
Ray, you
And then you're gonna have to,
You are on it
pretend
today.
you're, special needs and get into the Special Olympics to pay for Stabby's fingers. To get
Yeah.
some back on.
It's just one big ordeal.
yeah. I mean,
When the do we get ice cream?
I don't know. and then at some point somebody's going to pick up a CD and scratch it in broad daylight.
In broad daylight.
Hey, if a
That's a
cow
good
is
movie.
wearing
It's just
if
one
a
Anyway.
cow is wearing one of those VR headsets and they have like tremors or convulsions, do we call that a milkshake?
All right, so now we're looking for replacements for Ray.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
if you
I agree.
if you
I deserve that.
putting the call
have
out.
technical skills,
Podcast host wanted.
yeah,
But I do hear that,
somebody get Greg on speed dial.
like in Texas, cows do get horny from
Send him
from
the
time
link.
to time. Those longhorns.
Oh my god.
Holy All right,
That one was bad.
Now we
okay.
need 2.
All right, so now we're down to me and Jeff in the podcast.
Mike's out just for
I'm about to
discussing
come
some
murdering
Chef.
you because I'm going to have to bleep everything you say out.
And now we're just
Do
down
we
to
have
me.
to bleep it? Do we have to bleep?
Well, my
Until-
kids do sometimes want to listen to the
Yeah.
show.
Oh.
Dad, what do you do on Sundays? Well, I would let you listen, but I have this one friend.
You know, good old Uncle Mike likes to use the F words.
Hmm
Mm.
His mouth is utterly
No.
dirty.
Oh my gosh!
Uh,
Stop.
We're gonna have to move to the next segment.
Why am I the one that gets that shit after the 10 jokes that Ray just spit out?
Oh, I know.
No, Ray's not getting off.
Uh, I mean,
many jokes I can't say.
if he is, that's his personal choice. I mean, you know, I don't want to know what he's doing.
He's a
You
grown
know,
man.
while we're podcasting.
He's a grown man.
But back to Pat's
Yeah.
segment. For real though, like
Ray
these things are
Tubman.
going to get butchered. These things are going to slaughterhouses and stuff like that. At least they can have, a better life, sunshine and fields before
Yeah.
ultimate time happens.
Yeah, I think this was
Well,
just on milk.
Just give him some fucking magic mushrooms or something. Then I mean, like,
That'll taint the milk.
Or actually put them in a pasture.
or will it?
Well, then
Yeah.
cost effective.
Actually, we might be onto something there with the legalization of mushrooms.
Really? You're going to let your kid drink cow's milk that's been tainted with mushrooms? Really?
Who the said anything about letting my kids drink tainted cow milk? I'm talking about like we might be onto something with, Colorado and Washington with, the psilocybin getting legalized. Maybe we should be feeding some cows some magic mushrooms. Have some magic mushroom milk.
I don't want that tainted meat.
People tripping balls.
Yeah.
We're tripping bulls. Boo!
I don't want to stare at the sun for the next 4 hours after I eat a steak.
I'm inserting a stick into my ear.
I don't want to think the game "The Floor Is Lava" is real after I eat,
Yeah, no
a
kidding.
hamburger.
Well, I mean, maybe it's like microdosing. They say that's supposed to be really healthy for you.
I mean,
I don't know.
I don't want to pre-tease or anything, but
Don't you pre-tease me?
our segment number 2 does have some tainted meat in it. So that's all I'm going to say.
Is anybody else worried?
You should be.
You should be.
Anyways, so
Moving
on to who's up next? Is it
Mikey.
Mike.
Mike?
Okay, I'll take the bull by the horns. All right.
Jesus.
All right.
Guy stinks.
All right, listen, I am about to go full blown, like, get off my lawn segment here.
Please keep the cuss words to the minimum.
You
Well,
know it's
I'm going
not
to start it
gonna
off
be that
with
way.
I hate Snapchat. I think Snapchat is some dumb bull. It does not make any sense to me. I don't understand. And I get it. Like, me saying that is, like, totally old guy, get off my lawn. I understand that. But it honestly, okay, so my 15-year-old daughter, and most of this kind of revolves around just seeing how teenagers communicate these days with Snapchat. All right. So, anyways, she gets so upset if a streak is broken. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with a streak is. I mean, pretty much it's, I guess, where you snap somebody so many days in a row or whatever. I mean, it's pretty much self-explanatory. But
Yeah.
the fact is that she'll get upset about that shit with people that she doesn't even have, like, much of a friendship with. And I'm over here, like, lucky if I text somebody back that texted me, like, 3 months ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we do know that part of it.
Yeah, sorry. I was a piece of shit.
No,
But-
no.
I'm a shit
I
friend
never really
sometimes.
I never really understood the whole streak thing.
Yeah, I don't get it, man. Like, why do you care if it's somebody you don't even have a relationship with?
It's The what?
It's kind of like
Are you gonna?
the achievement
are you
thing
gonna
in
be able
video
to-
games.
Well, at least in video games, like there's an actual point to
Double X.
the achievement. The as far as Snapchat, it's like I want to see how many days I can take a picture of something and send to you.
All right.
That's
just anything. Just absolutely anything. You take a picture of your wall and send it to somebody.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Why?
I-
Why? If you don't give enough about the person to actually talk to them, why send them a picture of a wall just to have some damn streak?
I would say that it's Snapchat is for, I guess, people that already have built some sort of a relationship. And because I have Snapchat, and a lot of our family, we use it about every day, and it's random.
Okay, but I
stupid
bet you guys
stuff.
but I mean, I'm sure you guys get a laugh out of that. I mean, but still, I don't understand. Just send that in a text. Why Snapchat?
The only way I can explain it is that, and I mean, I'm no means trying to be a Snapchat advocate for anything, but it's just, it's
help
very,
me understand.
it's
man.
just very simple. I think it's more of you just turn the app on and the camera's already on, and it's really easy to have a lens or just quickly send something, and it just goes away.
And we have, especially when you have kids, we have family groups, so it's very convenient in that sense, because you don't have to, if it was a text, you'd have to open up the text, and you'd have to scroll in the camera to find the picture, then you'd have to paste the picture, and then you'd have to click on the picture if you wanted to add something to it. With Snapchat, it's all one. I know, I get it. I mean, if you think about it, literally though, if you think about it logically, overall, it's a dumb concept.
But it's super popular.
It is super popular. And it's one of those things that, I feel like the people who made it catered it more towards, the younger generation, which when I got it,
absolutely.
I was younger. I mean, I was younger when I got it. But it's just one of those things that, I've just held on to. Lord knows why.
It's the same, man. I've got the damn app on my phone, but I don't ever use it.
Yeah, I mean, my kids love, they put a lot of work, I guess they have to, for the lens on the Snapchat app. And my kids have been just cackling their heads off sometimes with some of the lens that turn you into an old dude or make your nose bigger, or, I mean,
okay, yeah, I
you
get
can't do that.
The
message
filters
feed.
are funny,
Yeah,
it's funny for the kids and all.
That's what my 2-year-old loves that, man. He's he likes doing, because I mean, you can turn into the Hulk or Spider-Man or Santa Claus or Paw Patrol or all those other things. He gets a kick out of that, and I get a kick out of watching him do that.
Right.
But going back to your thing,
that. Well, let me. Just
but I get what you're saying.
Well, let me explain this, and then you guys, just. I guess you'll understand where I'm coming from a little bit better. All right.
Okay.
So, her and my 15-year-old daughter, referring to her, and this boy like each other, right? All right.
It's already over for me.
Mm-hmm. That's why you have a problem with it.
It's already over.
No, it ain't like that.
Teenage boys?
No, I'm not. No, here's the thing. I know you're not being like that, but
she's a good kid. He's a good kid. It ain't nothing like that. But this is where it gets stupid for me. Is I ask her. I'm like, okay, so what do you guys talk about? And she's like, we don't really text or call or anything like that. And she's like, we just snap each other back and forth. I'm like, well, what the hell are you guys snapping each other? And he goes, well, he snapped me a picture of his wall and his hair, and then just a while ago he snapped me a picture of him drinking milk. I'm like, what does that tell you about a person? What do you do you even know anything about him? Like, what is he, things he likes, what's he want to do when he gets out of high school, anything like that. She's like, no, I don't know anything like that. I'm like, how do you even like each other? You don't know anything about each other except for like having classes together and maybe eating lunch together at school.
But isn't that
Now,
what
is
every
he-
13
is he
and
this-
14-year-old that are talking to each other do anyways? They don't know how to
Is
carry
he
on
is he
great
the same
conversations
age?
yet.
Yeah, well, he's 1 grade older, but I mean, like,
Oh.
but that's the thing, though, is like, come on,
Have you seen the Snapchats?
When we were dating back, in the day and everything, like,
Well, we had
you
to
would
use a telephone.
talk to a girl. Yeah, I mean, you
After
would talk to a
9.
girl, text.
After
either
9,
text-
yeah.
oh,
After
okay,
9.
okay, well, yeah, when the minutes are free. And
Yeah.
Okay, now
Yeah.
now we're showing our damn age, guys.
Hold
Well, I mean, not only
But-
that, then it was after everybody, perceivably received all the phone calls they were going to get from that night, because Lord forbid somebody beep in and mom and daddy had to come take over.
Oh my god.
Jeez, like I just remember laying on my bed, and you would just sit there and just say nothing, and it would just be
For
just
hours.
For hours,
You
just,
hang up
just to
first.
be
No, you
on
hang
the
up
phone.
first.
No, you
Just
hang up first.
Yeah,
But I mean, like, you got to know the person. You talked. You. I mean, like,
I don't know.
I mean, like, you would
Conversations
about whatever. But I mean, like, they're literally sending a picture of the damn wall.
yeah. I mean that most of the time you do if you take a picture of where you are and then you put some text to it. So that's usually how it's kind of stupid.
I feel
but,
like-
then take
I
a
feel
picture of
like-
your feet and then you say, yeah, about to go eat or take a dump.
Well,
It's
have
kind
you-
of a throwaway type of message,
Oh, absolutely. Have you seen these Snapchats between her and said boy?
Snapchat can be
No,
dangerous.
I mean, like, honestly, I swear to God, I trust her. Like, she's a good kid.
Well, no. Here's the thing.
The disappearing
don't
dick
take
app.
this. Well, don't take this as I'm saying that she's a liar, because I would never do that. I have too much respect for you and I love you, but at the same time, they're probably not doing anything wrong, but they probably are doing a little bit of lovey-dovey talk here and there. But she's not going to come tell you that because she's a 15-year-old girl.
No,
You know what I'm saying?
she's a little bit different where she tells me and our
Sure they
mom
are.
everything.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep. Mhm.
So was
Mhm.
I. So was Jeff.
Yeah,
so was
buddy.
Zach.
Oh, listen. I'm not naive. I mean, like, I'm telling you, like, there is absolutely, she is telling the truth. There is zero content in there. She knows nothing about the kid.
Or she don't want daddy to know anything about the kid.
No.
For your sake in this podcast and your family's life
Maybe-
after the podcast, I'm sure everything is right. But if
Maybe
you
what
would've
she
had
No,
me on
knows is more
Snapchat
of
as a
Listen,
teenager,
descriptive
oh,
of
Listen,
the shape.
I know so much about some of these kids, I could ruin their lives.
Well, let's not ruin any kids'
Yeah.
lives
Let's,
here.
on
let's
the
not
podcast.
do that.
I don't know. Maybe do it on the podcast. Might be good for views.
Oh, no. I mean, like, they're.
We'll get
they're-
canceled.
They're. Oh, listen. I had to hold myself back one time because she was in some sort of group chat on Snap,
Moving on.
and no. Like, there were some kids. I mean, they were making fun of her and shit. I mean, like, and just saying some horrible shit. And these were supposed to be her friends. Oh my god! Like, I mean, I'm talking like racist shit. I mean, I mean,
The word stuff exists.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it was some
Worst
bad,
stuff.
bad stuff. So I mean, like,
I love
I was
you.
about to lose. I
I'll
was about to lose
Snapchat
my
you a
damn
special
mind.
something later, Mike.
No, I was about to lose my damn mind and like, send to parents and school and everything. I mean, but for her sake, I did not.
Yeah.
Well, here's
Yeah,
the
and
deal.
that's- and-
with
and-
kids, especially me being in the education system, I've seen a lot of this stuff happen, and sometimes the kids don't want the parents to get involved. But here's what I think and what I've seen and what I feel: they need to get involved because kids' minds don't work like adult minds. So you can tell a kid,
man.
you know, but I feel like they need to be called out on their stuff. Otherwise, they're going to keep getting talked up, you know, and agging on to certain situations.
But my question in that scenario is it better? Would a parent getting involved? Look, I'm just asking the question. Would a parent getting involved, or would a parent through a kid standing up for themselves be a better lesson rather than could a parent getting involved make it worse, so to speak? Would it urge on these little idiots saying this crap?
It depends on the situation.
Yeah,
That's true.
yeah.
And when you have a group mentality, like Mike just expressed with his daughter, in that sense, I feel like that's a whole different animal. As far as, you know, if you have two people with beefs, let them settle it. You know, I'm cool with that.
Yeah, because
when you have a wolf pack mentality like that,
Mm-hmm.
you know, it's more than one, and I feel like at that point in time, you know, not necessarily, you know, have a civilized conversation with the parents of those kids and leave the kids out of it at first. You know what I'm saying? Let the parents try to settle the situation.
Right.
Yeah. And
that way it's not like, you know, I don't feel like as stressful for the kids in that situation, because the parents are, you know, and I'm not saying, you know, Mike has done anything wrong. Lord knows, none of us do anything. Like, it's all trial and error, basically.
Yeah,
with
it
kids,
is, man.
You know,
You don't know. It's hard to know when to step in and when to hold back. And I mean,
but I know your instincts, and I know who you are, and I know your first instinct is to,
and
I'm
that's
gonna
what
whoop
I'm
somebody's,
saying.
You know.
Yeah, I know
So,
that's what I'm saying.
You know
trying to
me,
say
yeah.
too is that.
Yeah.
You know, you have instincts to be protective. I mean, you're a dad. You know, it's like the whole thing of like somebody going on a date. The dad's waiting with a shotgun on the porch and threatens the kid. You better bring her back and treat her right. But my point is that if there's certain things like you talk about the situation of it being a group think type of situation where these little idiots, one person starts making fun and they want to fit in, and so it's just that you all start kicking a person while they're down, and just because somebody else is doing it, we've all seen the movie scene where somebody decks a person and three guys start kicking them like, you know, little cowards. But at the same time, we also have to instill in our kids that to have a backbone and to not be weak, and to be able to fight their own battles. Because I mean, we are raising these kids, and they will be future adults. And
exactly.
And at the same time, I guess, like Jeff said, it depends on the situation. It depends on how, and I guess it also depends on the kid. But I mean, at the same time, from just the world in general, we need some kids with some backbone that, you know, that are not going to just fold, and they're going to feel comfortable in their own skin no matter what these idiots are saying, you know. And I'm not attacking any child. That's just how I feel as a parent. And I
wanted to attack a child.
Oh yeah, it's the same thing, and it's.
But I didn't. Just so everyone knows, I did not attack a child, but I wanted.
You know, and here's the thing. Also, there's a new, you know, me being in a school system, I hear things all the time. There's a new thing coming out. It's almost like a party line. I don't know if you guys have heard about it. I can't remember the name of the app per se, but it's exactly like a party line where people can like listen in on conversations, and you can invite people in there to talk and all this. Well, what they do is they'll get two people that have a beef with each other in there on that party line where they're talking back and forth, you know, calling whoever this and that. Well, everybody else is listening to this conversation going on, and all they're doing is adding fuel to that fire. So when they come to school the next day, they're ready to throw down.
Yeah. It's almost like, have you ever watched, is it The Social Dilemma on
yes.
Netflix?
I haven't yet. How is
Yes.
that?
Dude, it's basically the premise of if the product is free, then you basically are the product, and the algorithms like TikTok or basically it goes into setting up how these social media through algorithms in their social network create this engagement by controversy and creating this, and it's addictive. And I haven't heard of that app, Jeff, but that sounds horrible. It
Right.
But yet it sounds like, man, I want to log in when I get home and listen to people just like go at each other. And I mean, and that's an algorithm. That's this whole mentality, like we covered last week, of these social networks are causing more harm than they are good.
It's almost
Yeah.
like a meet
And I mean,
me
it was
after
like-
school kind of thing, but in a message form or over the phone form.
Yeah.
Right, and it's the thing, like, they used to have, what was it, chat roulette, which made
Oh,
absolutely no sense to me at all. Like, why would you want to, talk to some rando person that you've never met or have, that just opens the door for a whole lot of sketchy situations.
Yeah.
It
people.
really does. Like, I mean, it really does. And we have, parents out there who are letting their kids get on these things. Either if they're not letting them, well, the kids are sneaking around getting on them. And doing God knows what.
The internet is a dark place. It is a
It
cesspool.
It can.
I mean,
be.
it can be.
Yeah.
But here's the thing too.
Ray's
They
right,
literally
it
need
can
to
be.
get rid of. They literally need to get rid of the terms internet and then dark web and just put it all under dark web. I mean, if you want to be realistic about it, because a lot of stuff on there is very dark and very easy to reach for kids at the push of a button.
Dude.
Yeah, and I mean, it's like the Social Dilemma is a really good documentary, and
It is. It's fantastic.
it's about
it really is.
you are the product that you are what they're after. Your data, your mind, basically they're steering people. They can steer people's beliefs in certain avenues, and by just showing you certain things.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I mean, the thing is, like, when you watch that, it's like you'll have a moment when you're watching that, and you'll sit back and, excuse my language, you'll go, "Damn."
Yeah.
I'm I'm a guinea pig here.
I'm like, I'm not
That
paid.
language. What the hell?
You
man?
know. So
And it's
You'll-
free.
Damn
It's
it.
not. It's we willingly download this stuff, put our information out, and then post. There's this Succession on HBO. I watch that show's pretty good. I haven't watched the third season, but there was one episode where a politician posted a picture of his anus just for everybody to see, and we voluntarily
Wait,
put
there
that
was a politician that posted his anus?
on the show. He got drunk, and I think he posted a picture of his anus. It's a fake politician, but it's on the show. And
Oh.
I
they were
literally
trying.
thought politicians showed their ass all the time.
yeah, that is true, Greg. That is true, Greg. Oh my God!
Did you just call? What did you just call me?
Oh,
I'm so sorry.
You're lucky where you're
Freudian,
where you're
Freudian
at.
slip there.
I would smack you dead in the mouth.
Yeah,
Aw.
you would. I'm
Shout out to Greg.
yeah.
Our
Shout
little
out to Greg.
Cottonfield Explorer.
I do apologize.
What I
but
do, homie?
anyways, so moving
man.
on after that. I'm sorry I ruined it.
Lord
Cold
forgive
hot
him,
dog.
for he knows not what he does.
Oh, I like Greg. All right, I think moving on in our individual segments, I think Ray is up next.
So I didn't want to take everything so seriously and go down the rabbit hole of children and Snapchats and all that kind of stuff. But this poses a question whether I kind of figure out who you are as a person. The question is, would you rather fight one cow-sized duck or 30 duck-sized cows? What's your opinions?
I don't know what to say.
I'm fighting the 30 duck-sized cows.
Okay, why?
Because you could punt them.
Because man, I'm gonna butcher those up and eat them.
Imagine though kicking 15 cows that are duck size. Your leg's gonna start hurting. Are you able to get rid of 30?
What if they
Listen,
milk all
I'll
over?
just bring out old Joe Boo, my baseball bat, and just start swinging, bud.
All right, Jeff, what's your pick?
I know I had said no. I think I'm gonna stick with what I said earlier.
Okay,
I'm still gonna go with the one cow-sized duck.
Can you imagine fighting that thing though?
Could you imagine
Dude,
if I had an
ducks are
axe,
mean
it
as
wouldn't have
hell.
a head anymore? I don't.
It's like a traffic cone beak coming at your face, taking it off in one
Right.
swipe.
Hissing at your ass.
Oh, your jugular would be gone.
Though, just imagine that, flying over your house and landing in your pond, and
Murderous giant duck.
swimming under the water and coming up and shaking the head and
Picking kids
Well,
up
then,
and taking them off.
if it lands, if a duck like that were to land in a pond, when it flies again, it's taking all the water with it.
true.
I think I'm going to
Water
die
off
either
a
way,
cow-sized
even
duck's
with the
back.
30 duck-sized cows.
But okay, so I'm going
30
with
duck-sized cows.
I'm going with 30 duck-sized cows. That's what I'm going with because of have you
Trample you to death.
yeah, but at the same time, I think how that's what they use to make those miniature little miniature things for kids, the duck-sized cows. Really bad joke. But yeah, that was rough.
Milk a duck-sized cow.
Yeah, you'd have to
You're
get
gonna
some.
grab it by its teats.
What,
Yeah.
the duck?
Yeah, you can milk anything with nipples.
You can.
Well, about that.
Yeah.
But anyways, I
I've
didn't want
got
to take it
nipples,
too
Jeff.
seriously,
Can you milk
but
me?
if you just think about
Absolutely.
a cow-sized duck would wreck most humans. But that was my segment.
Yeah, but I mean, you're going down the road in a vehicle, and it's just like and you're done with the 30 duck-sized cows. So.
But he said have to fight.
Oh, you
So
have to fight them, so
Yeah, you
you
gotta
can't
fight
use
'em.
you can't use a vehicle as your weapon.
No!
Oh, okay.
Are you usually fighting
What,
people with vehicles?
what are we
That's
allowed? Are we allowed a
Fist to cuffs.
that's
fist and
it?
feet.
Nothing
That's
else. We
it.
can't break a broomstick in half or
Unless you got a broomstick nearby.
okay. So it's just fists. I would probably, I would go with the 30 duck-sized cows because you could just grab them by the back of the neck and maybe use them as weapons. Just smack the duck-sized cows with each other. I don't know. Bowling. I don't know.
I stand by mine.
I can't. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Imagine me in a vehicle.
I really
and they
want to
just
see
flipping
Jeff
you
fight
over.
a duck-sized cow.
Oh my gosh.
I really do.
Getting murked
Stand
by
by.
a duck.
Oh, yeah, a cow-sized duck. So
Hey, I might get a flesh wound, but it's going to be over for that duck in the end.
You're going to be an amputee by the end of it.
Right.
It's going to pick you up like,
Like I said, I
Massive
might
web
get
You're
a
gonna
flesh
get ducked
wound.
up, mother.
I like how you said duck.
Yeah.
And then you cussed.
And then
Bleeped himself.
mother effer.
Like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's trying. It's growth. But anyways,
Yeah.
that's my
It's
segment.
growth.
And
I'm
then we're
growing.
moving on to Jeff.
I love the effort that you put into that, Ray.
Hey, I thought
What?
you were-
Okay, I really want to know what were you doing when you thought of this?
You ever just been up at night and you can't sleep, and you just start thinking about crap that makes no sense, and then I was like, I could
Yeah.
I could beat the out of a cow, I know I could, but I was like,
What?
But
You
ducks,
could beat the out of
oh
a
yeah,
regular sized
100%.
cow?
But ducks scare
Dude.
me because they'll go
Cows
after you.
cows kill more people in the world,
Have
you
you
know, every year than sharks.
Nah, I could
have
knock
you
one
ever
out
hit
outright.
have you ever hit a cow in the head?
They're
No,
pretty
you don't go
dumb.
for the head.
Those
You go for the legs. You gotta go for the legs. Sweep the legs.
Sweep the leg.
You said you would knock one out. I'm telling you.
Hey, what do you call a cow with no legs?
What?
Ground beef.
There we go.
Oh my god!
So I couldn't sleep, and then
Get out of here.
I'm not terrified of ducks, but like they do scare me a little bit. And I was like, what if I had to fight one that was like a cow size? And I was like, I'd be over. I'm done. It's defeated me. I have no choice. So that was it.
And you were thinking about this late at night. That
Oh yeah.
instead
While
of
you are thinking about your kids and Snapchat, I'm over here thinking about duck size.
instead of counting
cows.
sheep, you're counting rabid cows.
Yeah.
There we go.
Oh my goodness. Could you imagine the duck feast you could have though if you killed
my
that one
gosh.
duck?
Oh man.
Could you imagine
That'd be some-
little cows?
that'd be
that
some
size,
good meat.
Little morsels.
Yeah, if you killed that many cows, you could open up your own White Castle.
Make
And the
plenty of
meat's
duck
already-
butter.
The meat's already that size.
Okay. Well, moving on, Jeff. You want to move on, or are we done with the?
Yeah, let's move. I'm done with that. I was done with that when he presented it.
Thanks. Friendship. Friendship's all about
literally.
encouraging each other.
How high do you have to be? All right,
Was
I'm
not
done.
high. Was not high.
Uh-huh. Yeah, you'll never convince any of us that. So mine is, there's a story, and I might do a little bit of cussing there because this story infuriates me.
Oh
all
no!
throughout,
Don't you dare!
And I hate Mike. But anyway,
Hey, Die
there's
Hard's
a
not a Christmas movie.
Yeah, there's a mother who has been arrested in Houston. All right, this is what I like when these newspapers like use words like allegedly when they have video of a mom pulling. They had video of a mom pulling a kid out of the trunk, but they said, a mom found a mom had put her teenage son in the trunk of a car because he tested positive for COVID-19, and they were going to a drive-through testing site, and she didn't want him to be in the car with her because he tested positive. And so this is the way the start of the article reads. All right, now mind you, they have footage of her opening the trunk and him getting out. This is how the article starts out. An arrest warrant has been issued for a Houston area mother whose teenage son was allegedly found in the trunk of her car at a COVID drive-through testing site. Allegedly found in the trunk of her car.
That sounds like he was dead. Like that.
Yeah.
Like you would think, was he dead?
All right.
Like they
Now,
didn't say.
that's
Marshall Mather.
All right. Now here's all right. That's bad enough. All right. Now what makes this even worse? All right. Is this woman was a teacher?
Oh my god!
She was around other people's kids.
Of course she was. Teachers are the worst.
We know how she
All
gets
right,
good
she locked
results.
her own. She locked her own damn kid in the trunk. What do you think she's gonna do to somebody else's kid that she doesn't even have any kind of relationship with in that aspect?
Oh man,
Dude, people have gone absolutely crazy. Like the whole art. There was an article. I meant to look this up before the show, but there was this study. I think it was a poll done, and they had polled like Republicans, Independents, and Democrats, and they asked them like, what percentage do you think that if you get COVID that you get hospitalized? And I think the Democrats that responded said that it was closer to 50%. It was an outrageously high number. And
Yeah.
it's like, how have we done this? We have scared people to the point that we put our own kids in a trunk to take them to go get tested for COVID because we are that terrified of a disease that has a very, very, very low death rate. And
Like, here's the thing. I don't care how deadly that disease is. I'm not sticking my kid in a damn trunk.
absolutely.
right? And
I will take my chances of catching that. Put them in the back seat where I know they're safe.
Yeah,
Oh,
because
absolutely. How are you going to take care of your damn kid? Like, come on now. Like, I'm serious, man. Like,
I mean, put 4 masks on and sit in the car
what
with
my
them.
kid has because, like, I'm taking care of them.
Absolutely, because they deserve that, because they're my kid and I respect them and I love them, and I'm not going to dehumanize them to the point that I put them in a trunk.
But Jeff, can you,
Right.
you might
I
speak
mean,
to this
like,
better?
say I did have, like, something that was a health concern, and I don't know, maybe I had diabetes or something like, any of the riskier things that has been said. If you have, okay, well, I'm gonna mask the hell up and glove up and still take care of my kid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean there are options
Yeah.
rather than putting them in the
Common
trunk.
sense, man. Come on.
I mean,
Right.
and
Ray, what are you trying to say now?
I was saying that, like, you being a teacher and all, are y'all covered if, like, y'all get COVID, like, so many times since you are around kids? Was she, like, worried about
We
money or
have-
something?
No, you're covered. And here's the thing with teachers. All right, we have so many sick days that we get 2 sick days, 1 or 2 sick days each month that we get added on to our sick days. I think we get 1 sick day and a 1 personal day, or some vice versa. Anyway,
Man,
but
see?
here's the deal too. All these teachers that are in that have these sick days, all you got to have is 5 sick days banked up, and you can go into a sick bay bank, which is basically what it sounds like. If you run out of sick days, you can take sick days from that bank that people have put in there, and it's like a loan. Take those sick days, but then you've got to build those sick days back up for the ones you take. Now, also what they have is they have a thing called catastrophic leave. All right, which that covers you in the event that you were to get COVID. And so, I mean, the thing is like, and I don't know, it may vary state by state. That being Texas, who knows? But I'm talking about where we're at. But I mean, this just goes back to the same exact thing. Well, it doesn't really go back to, but it kind of is in comparison to, the company that put out the statement that, people had to put their mask on Zoom calls from home because this lady was terrified of seeing people's faces.
yeah, that's just
that.
that.
Get a little too far.
There's been this this crazy psychosis of people's minds that fear has changed them to like normal, like the normal fear of getting a disease or a virus, like before the pandemic when it was the flu. Yeah, I remember going to like a basketball game and the flu being rampant and feeling like I don't want to get this, but and being kind of respectful of the virus and feeling that hey, I don't want to be up in people's faces, but I wasn't going to stop living my life because of this. And there's just something that has happened over the past 2 years that people do stuff like this, and it's just crazy. It's absolutely not logical. It's just this crazy psychosis of the mind because of all the fear.
Man,
Yeah, and I mean, I get the
that's
fear
been-
aspect of it. I do. I mean, I'm not so insensitive that I don't see other people's points as opposed to that. But that's their points. If you want to take it that way, you take it that way. Don't try to put that stuff off on me. All right, because here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to live my life like I was living before. All right, because I didn't, they have the whole distancing and all that other stuff. I did that before COVID because I don't want to be up in somebody's business.
Yeah, absolutely.
That I like having my personal space. Even as a teacher, before all this came, I had a bubble that I didn't let kids come into because I like my personal space, and as far as like good hygiene and stuff like that, when I sneeze, I don't sneeze in my hands. When I cough, I don't cough in my hand. I cough in my elbow or in my shirt.
It's common sense.
And then I wash my hands.
What was charged? What was she charged with? Like child endangerment or like
Child endangerment. Yes, she was charged with child endangerment. I'm sorry I didn't get to that, but I was just so baffled by the article in general because first off, she put her own kid in the trunk. Second off, she's a teacher.
And I mean,
Well,
If she would have had a wreck and him being back there, like COVID or permanent death, injury.
She would have got manslaughter
Yeah.
yeah.
at the very least.
And then you have to live with that the rest of your life too.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you didn't want to catch COVID. And
All because you
But
were
I'm-
afraid of getting a cold.
but see, that's what I'm saying.
Or
It's just
COVID,
like there
sorry, I
is
didn't-
a illogical fear of this. I mean, we have the vaccination program and people have gotten it, and it as far as hospitalizations and death, it's doing its job. It's doing its job as far as that, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But we could go and debate about the spread and everything, whatever. But people, and a lot of the crazy thing is I would be willing to bet that this teacher, number one, is vaccinated. Number two, probably wears a mask all the time. And but yet she had this illogical fear that she's going to stuff her child in the trunk of her car because she doesn't want to get it, because this fear is just eating at people. And a lot of these people like me, I never was really scared of getting it. But there's this crazy fear, and it's I don't know why. I don't want to necessarily put the blame on just one thing or the other, but it's absolutely crazy, and we have got to come out of that.
And the thing is like, here's
Well-
the deal. I've known people personally who have passed away from COVID. All right, I'll go ahead and put that out there. But those people didn't quit living, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like,
Mm.
and the thing is like, I don't know if they were vaccinated or not, because that's none of my business. It's their business. But at the same time, you've got people who pass away from the flu every year and all these other diseases. We need to stop trying to, because obviously we can't prevent it. All right. It's been to that point that we know we can't prevent what's going on.
It's endemic.
We need
right?
we need to start treating,
Mm.
and that's where we've messed up, as a society right now. Is they're like, if y'all would do this, we would end all this. No, it's not. It does not work like that. Because here's what's going to happen: if we would do the staying in homes and all that other jazz that everybody wants to do, when we come back out, guess what's waiting for us?
Mhm.
It's a controversial subject, and
It is.
I-
I mean, and we all have different opinions on it.
Well, we do, but at the same time, they all center around the same course view of the what's going on. We do have our different,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? But
It kind of feels like
I mean-
at this point, it's gotten, the deadliness has, gone down, and, more people have gotten vaccinated, all this.
mhm.
I mean, and if you're scared of, catching it and, and passing away, I mean, like, do your precautions, do everything that you're supposed to do, get your vaccinations, get your, do everything that you're supposed to do. I mean, like, I've
stay
been
home
on
if
the
that
more
makes you
liberal
feel better.
side of things, but I've also been on the side of, like, things should be, by choice and everything like that. I mean, like, and like you guys have said, like, things have gotten a little bit crazy with, I mean, like, I was telling you guys about this earlier, and I'll just putting this story back out here for the listeners. So she's not gotten the COVID, and I stated that in the previous
The COVID.
episode about, the COVID. She didn't get it. I mean, like, we suspect that she might have actually had it, like, a couple weeks before we all got it, and they didn't test her for some reason. And so anyways, she has to quarantine until January 18th. She can't go back to school until January 18th. We just tested her on Thursday. She is negative. She hasn't shown any signs. She hasn't had anything. Like, she's had to wait until my wife had finished her quarantine and then had to do her own quarantine after my wife was done with hers. and she's
So
tested negative.
she tested.
How does that make
tested
sense?
negative?
She tested negative.
It doesn't make sense, and that's what I'm
No.
talking about. Is like, you can't put. There are so many people we can throw the blame on, but it comes down to there. I don't. Through this whole thing, there has never been an honest, open discussion with transparent. It doesn't feel like any of the information we're receiving has been transparent. It feels like everything is convoluted. It's changing every single week. And there's a new precaution. It drops from 10 days to 5 days. And then there's like, you got a mask after 5 days now, because if you've tested positive but you're not showing symptoms, you can mask and you can go out in public, but it changes if you have vaccines. And now we're
But now they've lessened it to 5 days quarantine.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Move from 10 to 5
Like,
days.
what?
It's just like we've never had a transparent information and a willingness for any of these. It's like each media agency has their own opinion, but yet where is the forum where you can have a guy that believes this way and a guy that believes the other way that comes together and has a debate? Like, that is gone. Debating,
because I don't do that. Because I mean, the way it is, I'm sorry to cut you off, but if I don't right now, I'll forget what I'm about to say. Because the way it is now is, we're taking, the word of one particular doctor, and I'm not going to say his name, as the gospel. And I know there's several other doctors who back what he's saying. But then on the flip side of that, there's doctors who disagree with everything that he says, and multiple. But if those doctors disagree with that one doctor, they're bad, automatic.
That's what I'm saying is, like, we have lost this ability in society. And I guess kind of one of the reasons we started the podcast again is that we got friends with different opinions that totally respect each other. And I am not going to stop being y'all's friend because you believe a certain way or you have a different opinion than me. It's just that there should be a platform where these doctors that are setting this COVID policy have to, like, if there is another doctor or a bunch of doctors that disagree with that, they should not be suppressed. They should want to debate them. If you are absolutely right and truthful, then invite these people and debate what they're saying rather than just like playing bop-a-mole and just hitting them on the head every time their head sticks up.
Yeah,
The whole damn
dismissing what
thing
they
about
say.
this is this really got very heated, politically. People decided that they wanted to take sides, and then it become, this whole battle of, you disagree with me, well, you're a piece of shit,
And it's literally we had it's funny, like, I think listening to a Joe Rogan podcast the other day, and he called the masks like the MAGA hats of the Democratic Party. But it's crazy that an actual thing that you put on your face has become, I get the MAGA hats are red and you can spot them, but like you put a mask on your face and it's become like a political symbol. And this is what I'm talking about. Social media it's about dividing, and it's not fixing the problem.
Yeah.
And it's like, if you want to wear a mask, wear a mask. You believe what you want to believe, but don't shame me if I don't. I mean, come on. It's got to stop, and it's only going to stop when people like us on this podcast just look at things logically and be like, hey, let's come together. Let's debate this. Let's get it right, and let's move on. And one of the things I know that the Supreme Court this week has been taking taking arguments over the OSHA
mandates
in the Congress. And one of the Supreme Court justices asked a great question, and I think it was Amy Coney Barrett. She's like, when will the emergency end? Like what? Like when do we know that it's over? And I don't know.
Right. I mean, like, we've been going on this since 2020, man. I mean, and really, it started in 2019.
Yeah,
It did.
What the hell?
And we've got to ask ourselves, like, what actually constitutes the emergency being over? And because the vaccines, all these precautions were emergency authorizations that the government gained these powers to be able to do these things because of these emergency powers. Well, the goalposts keep changing, and it's like, when is this going to be over? When are we actually going to go back to regular life? And I don't want to be a conspiracy theorist, but it's just, it's like, when is it going to be over? And when are we going to relinquish the power that we've given the government to make these decisions and give us back the rights that we have?
Right. And I mean, the thing is like, when you think about this logically, and I've tried to wrap my head around it, and so many times that it hurts, because when I try to think like that, I can't. So you have a vaccine that was pushed out that, was supposed to protect us and keep us safe from the disease.
And
right?
I want to jump in here that as far as hospitalizations and deaths, I think it has had an effect, but you got to consider the naturally occurring COVID immunity that's in there too. But
right.
I will say that, and it has had an effect, and for totally elderly people, I think it saved some people's lives.
Here's where I'm going with this though. They're trying to mandate people getting these vaccines because they're afraid that the people with the vaccines are going to get sick, even though it's been proven now that people with the vaccines can still catch it and still spread it. So you're wanting.
Well, I think that was kind of already, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Well, what I'm saying is like, what I'm trying to say though is like, never in the history that present day that I can remember, has there ever been where like you get this vaccine, you can't get it, or your chances of getting it are reduced tremendously.
Flu vaccine or like that. So
yeah, so I get the vaccine, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm supposed to be covered. Well, it would be unfair for me to be like, if Pat's not vaccinated, Pat, you got to get the vaccine to protect me, even though I've been vaccinated.
Yeah, and
right. You see what I'm saying? Like that doesn't make any sense. I
agree with that logic to it. I mean, like it kind of goes back to that whole thing of, well, I mean, do what you're supposed to do what you feel. Stop put everything on everybody else. Like, not everybody's going to agree with, your way of wanting things done. I mean, it's just not going to happen.
Right.
I mean,
like,
yeah.
I mean, I totally agree.
It's a touchy subject, and the vaccine.
It is, man.
I mean, there are, and I mean, I think that it's it has had a effect, but there are doctors that believe on the other side that I don't think that their voice should be just like bop-a-mold, just pushed out of the discussion. That's why I believe that
although there have been some wacky docs,
there have been,
probably both
absolutely
ways too.
But that's what I'm saying.
The thing is like, I'm not
forum,
and I'm not trying to discourage anybody from getting a vaccine, because I'm not.
I'm the only one out of our friend group that has the vaccine, probably.
Incorrect.
No.
Incorrect.
No.
Oh, do you have
incorrect?
it?
I had it before you did. I promise you.
It's incorrect.
When did you get yours?
Here's the.
Mine was the first rollout of the Johnson & Johnson. Walmart paid for it.
Oh, look at you, man.
Yeah, and
so I mean, but what I'm saying is like, I'm not part of this conspiracy group that is like, some people have been where they're like, oh, they just want you to get the vaccine because eventually you're going to have all these issues and it's going to kill off so many people and da 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 da. No, I'm not like that. Like, if you want it, get it. If you don't.
But we have to be honest about. We have to be honest and like about the side effects. We have to be honest about it, and we can't.
Well,
that's what I'm saying is that if like like during the presidential elections, where
But have you read
where
the
you
side
have
effects
live
of the medicines
the live
that
debates
they give us?
Yeah, it's like watching a medicine
I mean,
or a drug
Jeff
commercial.
Foxworthy, Jeff Foxworthy has done the best rendition of side effects of a medicine that I've ever seen. You know,
I don't think I've seen that.
you need to watch it. It's hilarious. I mean, it's like
They
you're
go
taking
on-
a medicine.
The commercials go on forever, saying you're gonna like sprout another ear, or you're gonna have this shortness of breath. I mean, it's really fast, but it's insane. Some
It's
of the
like, here,
things.
take this to cure your cold. Side effects may include cold, flu, pneumonia, high blood pressure.
Yeah, and it's like
mhm. I'm just like,
Erectile
my goodness, I'm just gonna deal
dysfunction.
but your
I'm just
cold
gonna
will
deal
be
with the
better.
cold.
Your cold will be better.
I'm just gonna
But that's
deal with
just
the
for
cold.
legal reasons. Also, that's like a United States kind of issue. Not a lot of countries have to deal with the pushing of pharma in their commercials and stuff like that. That's a
And see
No,
that
they don't.
Really?
But
a
also,
Western
there's
state.
some
And this-
other countries, like I think I want to say it's like England, that their FDA type situation with their foods is way more, like a lot of stuff we use here is illegal to use there.
Yeah.
European.
Yeah.
And there are people like there was an exchange student that that went to school with my wife. I believe that's who it was. But they said that when they came here, that the food, like they would eat a fruit and they were like, "What is this?" It tastes totally different than one
Because of the
than-
pesticides and the fertilizer and the preservatives that we use on our foods.
And this is what I'm talking about. Profit motives in drugs and in the food industry has really hurt the quality and the safety of human life and human like
Viability.
vibe. Yeah, and it's insane because you can't
Oh, heck yeah,
tell
bud.
me that there is you can't look at this vaccine without looking at the side of profit motive, that there is a justifiable profit motive to sell more of these vaccines, and the government's the one buying them. But
I don't know, man. Like, I invested I invested some money into Moderna, and then
and that's what I'm saying.
It shot up and then it went down.
And that's
Dude,
what I'm saying.
It started kind of dipping down. I was like, all right, I'm out.
And see, there's
I sold
nothing.
it off.
There's nothing wrong, making the fine. But my point is that when a drug has this, when the people that make the drug are trying to sell you on the drug and tell you that there's nothing absolutely wrong with it, then there's a profit motive behind it. To the more drugs you sell, like we saw with the opioid crisis, like that that is insane. Like how can you, like, I can't completely trust what people are what organizations.
Well, I mean,
tell me.
wasn't it back in the day where the CIA was going out?
We're definitely on
like,
the list.
give it-
now.
Oh, dude.
No,
There's
weren't
a
they
lot of that the CIA did.
You can go straight.
It was weren't they giving people like heroin and stuff like
Dude,
that in lower
experimenting.
They
poverty
were
areas? Yeah.
listen,
The Tuskegee Project.
I forget what it was called.
that's syphilis,
Yes,
right?
that was it. No, they were giving them
They were
syphilis.
dosing people, random ass people, with LSD, and then seeing what it would do to them.
I mean,
Yeah,
that's
the
the
Tuskegee Project
they were,
is
they
another
were
one.
slipping it into
That's-
dudes' drinks. Like they would get some sort of model or something like that to go into this bar and then slip a little LSD into some dude's drink.
that is
and
messed
then-
up.
And dude would trip balls.
So
I
that was
swear to
that was
you,
in the
it is a real
1960s, and it was Project
Yes.
MK Ultra.
That-
MK Ultra, that's it.
That is
Yeah.
Michelob
For-
Ultra.
for-
is that what you said?
For some really good
Completely
information on
different
that,
thing.
go
Completely
listen
different.
to Time Suck podcast, and the MK Ultra episode. It has a lot of information on that. It was really eye opening.
But I mean, here's the thing, and like, I love America, I really do, and I think it's the greatest country to ever exist. But some of our government entities, if not most, have some very, very highly questionable and very disturbing actions taken that they've done. The Tuskegee Project was another one.
Oh yeah,
you know,
where they gave African Americans syphilis.
Yeah,
they were giving
messed
them
up.
syphilis, and I'm just like, what in Dr. Frankenstein are you doing?
yeah.
Dude, we've done some
Like-
shitty stuff as a country.
And
We have.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's like,
But we're
and that's
not
what
alone
it comes
as a
back
country in that. You know,
Oh, no.
we're
Oh no,
you
no,
know,
no,
we're
no,
not-
I mean,
No,
like,
no, no.
we're not special
Dude.
in that aspect.
Time Suck actually has a couple episodes on like China doing some really stuff, and
England.
Sorry.
I think
Excuse
I
Well, I
think
mean-
Russia also.
Yeah,
Didn't China not too
I mean,
long
no
ago?
surprise in
they
those two.
they took
North
all those
Korea's doing it
those
now.
Muslim.
Yeah,
China took all those Muslim Uyghurs.
so
and-
North
and not
North
too long
Korea.
ago. You know, so
Mm.
So in my segment, I was going back and forth. Ray brought up North Korea. In my segment, I found this article where Kim Jong Un was put out like a press release and basically said that they were the first country to invent burritos.
Yeah.
He said that his
Or something like that, yeah.
yeah.
I
his-
believe that about as much as I believe he don't poop.
The sad part is though there's probably people within his country that actually believe that he and I think it was his dad invented the burrito. That's insane.
There may be some, but they probably the majority just like, yes, I believe it, so I don't get shot
Oh yeah.
in my family.
Anyways,
But that's my segment, guys. I just I know we went off on a tangent there. That's just
Well, can I just
One
add
thing
something
led
to
into another.
the kid in the trunk thing?
Yep.
Absolutely.
Do you remember or were you with us the time that some of y'all put me in a trunk and we had some people still over at the Waffle House in Fort Payne, and we drove across the road to the gas station, and we waited until you guys got out of the vehicle and went inside, and then we popped the trunk and I hopped out and ran down the toward Kmart in my underwear.
Unfortunately,
No, I
I was driving.
I
that
was
other
not
vehicle.
there.
I was there.
I
And we
hate
had
that I missed
people
this.
about to call the cops
That's-
on us.
That's one of the
Yep.
very rare moments that I was not with you.
Then we went to
Oh,
Waffle
Oh
House
yeah,
later.
this was before you, Jeff, because
Yeah.
I was
Mhm.
dating
Early.
I was dating this other girl, and her sister pulls up, sees me running toward Kmart in my underwear, and she's like, "What the hell are you doing?" I was like, "Oh, we're just pulling a prank." Da 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 da. And she's
We're
like,
going
"Get
streaking
in."
through the quad. Come on, everybody's
Right.
doing it. Mike, there's nobody with you.
Yeah, there wasn't, by the way. There wasn't.
He was running to Kmart to ship his pants, right?
Yeah.
Man,
The,
I wish we
Waffle-
still had that
The
video.
Waffle House lady got a kick out of that story when we were telling her that later.
Oh yeah, man.
Oh, yeah.
If we still had that video, we could post it on our socials.
That's also, we asked the waitress if she looks down after she wipes. She got so embarrassed she left her table and didn't come back.
That was.
Y'all remember
terrible,
when
man.
you remember when
We
we
were
used to
some
sing to
idiots.
our waitresses? We would sing to
Oh,
all the
yeah.
waitresses that we had.
You've lost,
You lost that love
that
and feeling?
love and feeling.
That got me a phone number one night. That was awesome.
Yeah, man.
Oh yeah,
It's some
it
dumb
was just
stuff.
that was one of the cooler things that we did. Where people, you know, nobody was made to look like a fool, and you know, it was just something to make somebody feel good. And a lot of
Well-
times we got the standing ovations,
Oh,
and
It was usually because there was a
And,
cute waitress. Let's just be honest.
Yes. Let's be honest.
Let's just be real.
good times we had.
All right, guys.
Oh,
Going to our, just want to add in 2021 took away our grandma and Betty White, and it looks like in 2022 Bob Saget, Danny Tanner has passed away.
Oh man.
No, not
No.
Tanner.
Full House
No.
Pops.
No,
True story. So
no,
that's all in all the major news networks right now.
no.
Sad. Very sad.
Poor 40.
I don't believe you.
Man.
Thanks for listening to the Man Therapy Podcast. Please look us up on social media at either Man Therapy Podcast or Man Therapy Pod, or email us at mantherapypodcast@gmail.com. We really appreciate you listeners. Please, we're trying to grow the show. Please share it, and if you really like it, just tell your friends or family about the show. Anyways, we want to wish you happy evening, afternoon, night, whenever it is you're listening to us. Have a good one.